grab a rope, tie the floats in, and I'll show you the joining knot, how to get onto here. 20-metre rope here, guys. Ready to rock and roll. I'll show you a couple of simple knots. Float savers, which are handy, help the knot from pulling through your floats over time. Right. So, how are we looking at how we put our floats in? Couple of arm lengths, because we do want a little bit of distance between our floats on the surface. We need to grapple or gaff that as we come up to the boat. If the floats are too close together, it just makes that too hard. Come in here, I'll show you a simple little knot. How do we make a nice little knot to join that? We're going to go around and around twice. Get our tag. It's going to go in the back door. Slide it through and simply put the front ring over the back ring. Dunsky. That's all we need to do. We'll grab a float, slide it on, we'll do another one. Slide your float on. A little float saver on top. It's not doesn't have to be there, but it just does help. If your gear's in the water for a long time, it helps to, and there's rough weather, it helps that knot from having to pull through the polystyrene. So we want to make this one as tight as we can. Remember, we go around and around. In the back door, front over the back, and then roll that down onto the top of there as much as you can. Try to keep that nice and firm so there's not too much slack between your two knots, because it'll just wear your float out. It is only foam. All right, there's one. We're going to do the same here. So far down from the top. 1, 2, in the back door, front ring over the back ring. Nip him up. Float saver. 1, 2. In the back door. We get our front ring over the back. Try and push that down on top as you tighten it. Nice little tail. Happy days. That's ready to rock and roll. Let me show you how we join the rope onto our bridle with a nice simple knot. You might want to come in here because this is one that lots of people aren't sure about. I've seen people use stainless steel clips and things. One thing I don't like in my pots are things that are very shiny. So nice and simple, we don't have to do any more. We've got our bridle here and our rope. Just make it nice and central. Pinch, so you've got a little loop. We grab our cray line. We're going to come up from underneath. All right, then we're going to go, I'll make this nice and big so you can see. Under and around, so we go under once, under twice, working back towards the loop towards yourself. Okay, 2 is plenty. I see people do more for luck. We bring all this together, and the part that locks it off is by grabbing this here, locking it up there, and we are done. That will never go anywhere. Sometimes if you want for a bit of safety, if you want to get your fid and just put that in there, or some guys that feel that's not enough, put a cable tie on there. But trust me, I did a little bit of work on boats for a while, and this knot here with 2 turns will go all day, every day. And when it's been in the water for a while, come and see this. You go, how the heck do I get that undone after that's been winched and pulled? Grab this part, undo the lock, and everything's nice and slack. Now, one of the most important things when you first deploy your pots at the start of season, when your ropes are dry and hard, whether they're new or they've just been in the shed for the whole year, is you'll throw them in the boat, you know how it goes, let's go and get the Craypots in, you grab your mate, you grab a beer, you get out there, this will do, we're going to soak them, we won't get too anal about where we drop them tonight. You'll get out there, chuck a couple of tuna heads in, throw them over the side, come back the next day, Jesus, my floats and ropes are missing. Did someone take my pot? I don't know what it might be. Let me show you one simple thing that is really, really important when the first time you throw any dry rope in the water. You'll throw these in the boat, you'll drive out there, dry rope is hard. It will rattle loose really, really easily. I've only just got to touch that. So you can imagine by the time you drive down to the boat ramp, bounce out to wherever you're going, you might have tied them up all tight in the shed, they become very loose. Before you throw this pot over the side, do 2 things. A, make sure you pull everything up really tight again. B, get your buddy, lob this pot into the drink. Do not throw the rope over the side. Stay with your pot, don't drive off, let it hit the bottom, and as the rope finally goes and you're drifting away, remember we're in the boat, hang on to these guys. Don't power off in the boat, just let the wind blow you away. This guy's now firmly on the bottom. hang onto these guys and just put a nice bit of tension on that rope and pot the first time we deploy it. Once the water gets into the rope, it softens, the tension sets the knot, and it'll stay there forever. It won't let go on the first night, which happens more than people think. So remember, when you first get out there and your pot hits the bottom of the ocean, hang off these floats, give them a nice bit of spring. There's lots of stretch in this sort of rope. Bury that knot in nice and deep, and it will not come undone on you, and you won't be out there the next day. Have no floats anywhere and no pot. Another tip that is really cool, if you can, put your gear ID into your frame as well, because it helps to identify this as being your pot. Once those floats are detached in any way, if there's no gear ID on here, there's no identification, it becomes property of the sea, and we can't, even pull them back up as divers to help you find your pots if there's no gear ID on there. So try to identify your pot. Make sure you identify your floats. Make sure that you pull tight on that rope when it first hits the bottom. It's going to help make sure that your pot's there tomorrow when you go out to pull it and hopefully have a couple of crays in it.